Today is January 6th, and this is Life on the Ladder. Welcome back to Life on the Ladder, guys. My name is Silvertone. I'm here with my buddy Ozlord.
Hi.
What's up, dude? Ozlord cast with me on the ESL stream. For the last, I don't know, 6 months we did ESL every Thursday.
It's been a while.
But yeah, our Red Terran, his name is Jan. Our Blue Protoss player, his name is Daedalus. I think I know a few too many Daedaluses at this point.
There's quite a few out there. It's popular.
We're going to be casting a TVP for you guys. It is a silver level TVP.
Juicy silver.
Going to have a pretty standard opener here for Jan. No gas just yet. So we're not going to see any kind of early Reaper push.
As well as Protoss, no gas, no gate. Looks like he's going for the Nexus first. Dropping it down right now. Getting greedy.
Nexus first. We're going to see a gateway dropped pretty soon. Gotta need to see that gateway drop pretty soon. A lot of Protoss players, guys, are opening up with 2 gateways, followed up by a cybernetics core and a nice early gas. Save up that gas and get 2 adepts started as fast as possible. Send them across the map, try to get some damage done, maybe just some scouting. But I don't think we're going to see it today, as the gateway is not yet down.
Yeah, he opts for 2 gas before gateway. He must be like planning on some sort of tech later, but I'm not sure if he knows that he hasn't started his gateway yet.
Yeah, it's a very interesting decision to delay the gateway. It's almost really dangerous, because I don't think he's scouted. Like, this is his probe scouting right now, and that's nice. But you would not know if there was a Reaper coming or not. And if he was sending a Reaper right now, he would have nothing but probes to defend it with. So little advice to you Protosses out there: before you grab your second gas, at least start a gateway. You're definitely going to want to have some kind of defense against Reapers.
Luckily, Terran is also playing completely blind, so he has that advantage, as this is the first scouting of each other that's going on this game.
His probe's stuck.
Yeah, I can't get in because he walled off Zerg style.
Hey guys, could you open the door? I'd like to look around.
I'd like in, maybe let some of your forces in. I could just sneak around if I'm unnoticed.
Can I take a look around, guys? Is this like an open house?
Oh, yeah. Maybe this side, maybe? No, it's okay. It's still blocked.
An interestingly pro-level move here from our Protoss player Daedalus. He's only got 2 probes in each assimilator, so he's really only mining with 4 probes rather than 6, so a lot of minerals still coming in, and a little bit extra gas. So
this is like a nanny walk thing. I think there's a lot of Swedish Protoss players have been doing this European Protoss style.
That was very like hot Swedish style, definitely.
Yeah.
He's now got 2 gateways. He's got the cybernetics core on the way. 2 more gateways behind that. A little bit of a kind of like a 4-gate going on right now.
A little bit, yeah. Cybernetics core is going to be done before all that. It's going to be able to. It's going to have plenty of gas to get his warp gate started.
This is a big deal right now. We don't have a second command center for Jan just yet. Looking like he's just going to mass a bunch of Marines. 5 Rax Marines, stim on the way. Definitely cannot afford to get supply blocked. That's the big thing here. We're going to see a stim timing, lots of Marines. The defense for Daedalus is going to be whether or not he wins this game, whether or not he's able to hold or not hold against... What's the count so far? So far 19 Marines, and stim's not close to done yet, so we're probably going to get up around 28.
Is it just 2 Zealots right now? That's all he has for defense at this point in time. He's going to have to start producing units very, very soon. He does have all the gateways producing, and Warp Gate is not chronoed, but it's on the way.
Now, Oz, I know you play a random, which means you touch on Protoss a little bit. What could our Protoss player be doing right now to be gaining some information on our Terran player?
Scouting any way you can, whether it be a probe or maybe throw in like if he had you don't have to build sentries, so it's not part of the build, but you can scout with a harass, even a warp prism. But he wouldn't want to be out of position for this huge attack.
Yeah, I definitely would have liked to have seen maybe even like a single zealot or a single probe just like hanging out in the natural, just because you want to know if they drop a natural or not. If they don't drop a natural, you know they're going to attack you.
Absolutely.
We do have the Marines moving across the map 3 Adepts, 3 Zealots, and 3 Pylons. Now 4 Adepts. Gonna have some Photon Overcharge and some tankiness with the Zealots and Adepts as our defense.
Good scan. Does see what's going on up the ramp, but hitting in that... Oh, man. Just in time for everything to melt. 3 Photon Overcharges is pretty heavy.
They were a little bit late though. They didn't have the tanks in front of them. If he had hit him a little bit earlier, he would have gotten a little more DPS done. The Marines now focusing down some gateways, wasting a little bit of time here. He could be killing probes.
Absolutely, and he is pretty weak from the stim, so any kind of forces that he warps in right now are doing a lot of damage, plus that Photon Overcharge.
Photon Overcharge a little bit out of range. Probes and an Adept trying to hold off the Marines and Marauder, and this is rough. This is a rough hold. The back at home, our Terran player is still just on 1 base, so if the attack is held, he's going to be in a really rough situation, a circumstance you do not want to be in.
Absolutely. That's pretty big courage going back to mine while all these Marines are in his face, but he does it anyway. Another Photon Overcharge is going to clean up a lot of this. Oh yeah, probes! Probes going to do so much damage. Oh, they don't even go for the auto
Just
attack.
like a distraction.
That's good.
Fear tactics. Fear tactics, sir.
Fear tactics, man. Push him away.
More Marines exiting the base for Jan. Jan going all in here. We might see some kind of CC. He might even just lift up his CC and move it down to the natural when he needs to. But in the meantime, I think this attack would have gone very differently if the Terran had made slightly different decisions. If he had chosen to focus the Nexus all the way down, given it a little more of a priority, or even if he had just skipped shooting those barracks and went for the probes, the macro economy of Daedalus would have been far more damaged, maybe even running after the Mothership Core, trying to snipe it off before it got any more Photon Overcharges down.
I also feel like this heavy of a Bioforce would be definitely benefited by some upgrades. See Protoss going for level 1. Level 1 armor? I can't select it. Yeah. Level 1 armor, so it's going to have the benefit when that finally finishes up, but he doesn't need it at this point in time.
They're going to be beefier. Here come the Adepts. Photon Overcharge going to be activated in just a few moments. Mothership Core got to get active, though.
Ooh, lots of hurt going down.
It is hard to break into a Protoss this late into the game when he can warp in units, when he's got the pylons, when he has enough energy, which is, I mean, it's only 25 energy right now to activate that Photon Overcharge. So breaking up this ramp with no medevacs, no Widow Mines, and just Stim and Marines with no upgrades is going to be really, really difficult.
It's 25 energy is pretty inexpensive. You can drop Photon Overcharges all day long.
We now have a tank on the field for our player Jan. You gotta love the aggression from these silver players, no matter what league you are. It's always nice to see players trying to play the game with their own style, and I get that some people might see that as just cheesy or simplistic or something, but I also like to dictate the pace of the game. If you attack early, if you learn how to do it correctly, you can really make the meta what you want it to be, as long as you can get the correct amount of damage done early game.
Exactly. You kind of like choose where the engagement happens, plus you have a really good idea of what your opponent is building and what you can build to counter that. We see a good force of Protoss moving across the map now.
Yeah, a Warp Prism rallied behind it, so he's going to be able to reinforce. There's no proxy pylons. So out there, guys, if you're a Protoss player, make sure you are proxying pylons. There is one that looks like it's set to go down, but it's not done, so the reinforcement's not going to be happening super quick, especially if he attacks right now. Psionic Transfer getting the scout off on the top of the ramp. He's going to head into that mineral line. He might cancel it. He might also go for... Oh, he's going right for the mule. A really nice trade. That mule is brand new.
Yeah,
only going to get a couple... Only going to get a couple minerals off there.
Not even a little bit.
Oh, he's pulled out of position completely. Siege tanks are not sieged up. The DPS from the Marines not going to be enough against the Adepts.
Excellent concave, man. He gets down, he moves in on those tanks, gets really close, out of range of the siege, he cleans up the rest of it.
And that is going to be a really, really hard loss to come back from here. Jan in a really tough scenario. The Warp Prism's here. He says unrushable toss with the happy eyebrows.
Almost, man.
And GG.
And a nice warp in just to add insult to injury, man.
Alright, man, our Protoss is going to take that game. That was a good game, though. I mean, it was quick, it was straightforward. Jan did pretty much a very 2D maneuver, very flat, very one-dimensional. I said 2D, so it's two-dimensional, right? But
Right.
I guess I don't know which one to go with. It is a one-dimensional attack. Marines with stim. Switch back to our faces. And I just want to talk about what you think either player. Which player do you choose one of the players and talk about what you think they could have done better in that game?
I feel like it didn't really matter, but Protoss should have had a better idea of what was coming at him and what Terran was doing. Like you said, staying on the one base. He did win in the end, but there's no reason like that. I feel like with the right amount of micro, that push at first should have broke the game.
Yeah,
sure.
he
What do you think about that?
definitely, if he had a probe out there, a pylon sitting out, just to know whether or not he was taking a natural. I honestly think that, and I'm really open to comments if you guys want to have your own opinions in the comments below. Let me know what you think about this. But you should know when your opponent moves out. There should be something out in front of his ramp just to say, like, hey, they're on their way out. I don't care what time of the game it is. If it's super early, I get that. But if you've got an adept who can move across the map and check around, you should be checking to make sure he's dropping a natural. Because if he's not dropping a natural, he's coming at you. And if he's coming at you, he could be doing a 1-1-1. He could be doing siege tank drops, banshees, liberators, massive marine stim push. On the Terran side of this, I tend to go for combat shields over stim, just because I feel like when you stim and you're trying to take out a natural, even if you take out the natural, your marines are so weak after stimming that you can't take out the main. Whereas if you get the combat shields, you get a little more health, and you can just use the basic DPS of a large amount of marines to do that amount of damage.
Yeah, that was a big point of fail, was how weak the Marines were after that stim. If you were just combat shield, it would do the opposite, and they would just be tanking all day long, and that push would have ended the game.
The other thing I would say about that Terran is I'm not sure, with the Warp Prism in play, like if the Toss uses that correctly, he's going to tear that Terran apart with just two prongs attacks, warping and adepts in the back. The Marines aren't going to hold at every angle unless you've got just enough Marines placed in every correct position inside your main and your natural and at your ramp. So that's going to be hard. Warp Prisms are really good. But besides that, pulling your entire army back out of position to kill one adept is what lost him that engagement hands down. I'm not sure how it would have gone had he been in position with the tanks sieged.
Oh man, if this tanks were sieged, yeah, that would have been brutal.
It could have gone differently.
Yeah.
But he did pull him out of position, and he says unrushable, but I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that. I feel like he could have done more damage. Like I said during the replay, I feel like he could have gone for the probes, or could have focused on the Nexus. He could have definitely handled his units a little bit better and done a little more damage, even dropped his command center a little bit earlier so that the macro would have been a little more on par with a winning strategy. I don't mean that to be mean.
No. Just out of position for that adept. Two Marines and like an SCV, or like maybe even like get a surround with the SCVs to hold them in place would have been good.
Yeah, that would have been nice. Or even like pull the boys. If you're gonna go all in, go all in.
Oh yeah, if you had SCVs in the front of that first attack, holy crap!
I'm not sure if that would work because he still has to get into the main. But like maybe he loses a bunch of SCVs but keeps a ton more of the Marines alive.
And if he would have focused down those probes instead of taking out the gateways first, the Protoss would have had nowhere near enough economy to build up that amount of forces to take him out in the end, anyways. So
I think focusing on the gateways was a real inefficient move. Even if he had just gone for the pylon powering them, it would have been faster, and he could have moved on to the next thing.
Like future photon overcharges as well.
Eliminates future overcharges and gets the same job done. Like if the gateways don't work, it doesn't matter if they're dead or don't work.
Plus, like supply blocks, so they can't even build other gateways, maybe.
Totally. It's a good decision. So, decision-making for our Terran player could have been a little more on par. But our Protoss player, nice counterattack, brought the Warp Prism, eventually had the proxy pylon coming up, so we could have put that a little bit earlier. And both players could have scouted a little bit earlier. But at the same time, when you're a Terran player and you're all-inning, you might just be like, I'm going to all-in. I'm going to blindly all-in you. But that's it, guys. That's it. That was a really fast episode. trying to get you guys some more bronze, silver, gold level games. This was one of my first TVPs we've done in a while. I know last week we got a PvP. Thanks for joining me this week, Ozlord. You're the second co-host I've had on the show.
No problem. Thanks for having me, man.
Absolutely. We're definitely going to have you around more often. So, yeah, guys, follow him on Twitter at Ozlord Gaming or me at IamSilvertone. I think it's also, he streams a lot of good tournaments and casts them for ESL on, is it just Wednesday nights?
Yeah, Wednesday usually just for ESL, but I should be picking up in the future. We'll see what happens.
So right now, Wednesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, twitch.tv/OzlordGaming. And yeah, leave a comment, let me know what you thought, and have a good night.
At 86 supply to Retai's 82 supply. Now as a Zerg, you really never want to be on equal bases or equal supply with your opponent. You are the swarm, you want to have more, you want your economy to be stronger, you want your units to be more plentiful. But today is not that day, as Gently is keeping up and macroing very well, playing very safe, setting up a powerful Sim City. I see a photon cannon go down by the side of that base, and nice positioning on that. I like this choke he's created here. I'm pretty sure he can get any units he needs down that ramp. Double Robo. I'm going to get Disruptor. I'm going to do it's Colossus. He's making a Warp Prism and Colossus.